like push for any collapses and etc, etc. But with TOX now, it's like I said before, if they wanted to come back in this, they need to win that first series. But even then, the game types are way in Splyce's favour now. And if you look at the second series, you know, you've got Fissure Ball and Refugee CTF and these kind of game types where it does favour TOX. But it's like I mentioned before, again and again, it really needs to decide on whether the structure of this team being decreased is actually worth it for that instinct to increase their pace against Splyce.
Well, it's time. The moment is now. It's that age-old rivalry between these two top teams, and we're going to settle it here and now. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you TOX and Splyce.
Two teams are left and a hell of a lot of air miles in between that, Andy. Finally, HCS London, the grand finals is underway, and we're starting off early with Capture the Flag on Trees.
Yes, here we are. These are the two teams that we expected to be in these finals, but maybe not the exact way we expected them to both get here, of course. As a reminder, Splyce falling early to be knocked down to the elimination bracket by Reciprocity. And this time it's TOX who cruised through the winner's bracket. And now TOX only needs one best-of-7 here win, Splyce needing 2.
That's a huge factor for me in this grand final. That's why I predicted that TOX would take our grand final here in London. Only have to beat Splyce once. They've done it before. They can do it again. But if there's one team that's in the Halo Championship Series who can pull off back-to-back wins, it's of course going to be Splyce.
Early triple there from Shotzzy, certainly not the first we've seen from him this weekend, and I bet not the last we're going to see. He's been racking up multi-kills all weekend long.
Eco now sitting around the Eli, looking to clean up this kill front base. Should be an easy clean up onto Snakebite. Is but 2 players from TOX drop down. Stopping Eco being sneaky under that base, make sure that he isn't going to be too effective at distracting any of the players coming off the respawn. All the pressure early game from Splyce though, Andy.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of this continue, but if there's one team that can slow down that aggression from Splyce, it's going to be TOX. Keep in mind, the last time we had a grand finals first best-of-7, TOX managed to 4-0 Splyce to knock them to the losers. They would eventually fall in New Orleans. However, if TOX can do it here, they'll win this tournament and knock Splyce off their throne for the first time.
Yeah, that was a fresh 4 dead there. A flag going straight across bottom middle. All the players from TOX stuck on the respawn. Splyce are going to be striking first in our grand final.
Indeed, sounds like a TOX favorite audience here, as there's not too many cheers or bits of applause after that first Splyce flag goes in, but already a killing spree here for Shotzzy.
Yeah, Shotzzy doing what he does best, and that is just cleaning up house as far as kills are concerned. Renegade moving the flag back. Overextenders here, though, coming from TOX on the car side of the base, so they're going to have to get some kills before they make anything happen. That's actually going to be a return coming in here for TOX, and they're trying to move a flag of their own now.
They slowed down that momentum very well. Meanwhile, it's actually Shotzzy who's already 9-1 in this game, so quite a start from him, but it looks like TOX should have this cap secured, but there's someone on the sneaky here.
Yeah, it's Shotzzy who manages to get the pull, and not only that, Shotzzy manages to stick a player and trade out a kill, so that makes things a little bit more difficult as far as the return coming in for TOX. There is the return, though. The flag is going to be returned by both teams, so Splyce, they managed to clutch up, and they managed to get their flag back to the base.
Yep, and Camo did pop, by the way. You saw on your screen it was picked up by Renegade. Picked up at 43 for those of you tracking those power-up times at home. Renegade, though, will fall to the hands of Lethal, so essentially a Camo burn.
Doubling the feed there from Snakebite. Frosty now pushing in aggressively on the P side of the Splyce base. The pressure coming in from TOX Gaming. The beatdown sends Frosty down onto the Eli, but great survivability, fantastic team shot, and even better movement from Frosty. I mean, there might be an opportunity to get this flag moving.
Yeah, of course. Now, what we're going to need to see from TOX is a little bit of control as they bring these flags in, right? They don't want to let the game get out of hand. It's not worth getting 1 or even 2 flags at the risk of losing entire map control to a team like Splyce. So you're going to see Royalty right now just staying in this pink 2 area, laying down some shots, being forced to watch his own back. But look at that help that comes in from Lethal. That's what TOX needs to do the entire time. If they try to just simply play 1v1 battles against Splyce, it's going to be a long, long Sunday evening. Continue to team shot if they want to take down Splyce.
2 kills go down in the base here for TOX, 2 players from Splyce, 4. Royal 2 still doing work in the base. They have managed to get the flag pull, but the trades coming in from Splyce mean that flag isn't going to move too far unless they can pick up another couple of kills. Royal 2 just hunting down these kills on the Eli. Picks up 1. Shotzzy falls. Lethal picks up another. Stella goes down. Now you're going to see TOX moving on that objective.
And right now, Splyce actually outslaying here, 31-29, so still very close in terms of the kills category.
Flag only 3/4 of the way across the map. You can see TOX is setting up here. They're not trying to overextend. They're not getting too desperate for this flag cap. They're making sure they pick up their kills, get their kills, as they like to say. Then they're going to move in on that objective. Fantastic objective work here from TOX. Communication on point and objective going in. That's 1-0.
And yes, indeed, cheers of applause here from a TOX favorite crowd, certainly, as they finally tie the game here. Camel's up in just about 1 second, so watch everyone on the map start to shift towards that pink 1 area.
Yeah, watch the kill feed as well, because kills mean everything as these power-ups are coming up. It's going to be Renegade who does move in and get that next camouflage. So a big advantage here coming in for Splyce.
Yes, indeed. Now, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from the TOX side, though, but how good is Splyce at this top mid run? They love holding down this top mid area. That flag is going to get returned eventually, but Splyce is a dangerous team when they have that top mid control, especially with Camo.
Yeah, TOX is still moving this flag, though. Renegade, he tried to make a play there, and Frosty's backing up this player, car 1, and that means he could almost just sneak around that corner, potentially get that flag in, but 2 big kills going down here. Stella with the perfect to stop that.
Yeah, 2 dead on TOX. Going to be really difficult to get this in. Lethal needs to stay alive. I'm not sure if anyone's there for the cap. It looks like it might not be the case. That's a return. Splyce gets the last-minute return there.
Yeah, great work from Splyce there. They timed their kills perfectly. They didn't get too desperate, made sure a couple of TOX players fell before they hopped on that return, and it was Stella working with the teammates to send that one home.
Really great to see what we saw from TOX, because you and I talked about it on set. TOX starting to get a little bit of map control and waiting for the right time to strike. You heard Snakebite talk about it in his interviews as well. They're a methodical team. They like to have a bit of control before they run the flag, so really happy to see them convert as quickly as they did, rather than getting control and waiting for the absolute perfect time. They struck as soon as they could.
Oh, great shot there from Renegade to just peel Royal 2 off of the P3 tower. Great trade, though, coming in from Frosty. Another trade's coming in. Eco with a double kill there should open up the map, and it's going to allow him to push in on the P side now. Expect to see Eco listen to teammates here. Where are they on the map? He's going to run it towards either the respawning teammates. Get that flag moving. Eco, great play from him. Now he's just looking for his teammates to do some work for him.
And he doesn't even take damage until the needles. Look at this teammate now up on the sneaky. This should be a sure thing right here for Splyce. Of course, they can't ground pound that anymore, mate. Whoa, only, look at this. Only Eco is around, but here's Stellar, who's probably going to get the cap as well.
Yeah, it was Lethal who made a big last-minute stop there, but it's going to be Stella who puts in flag number 2 here for Splyce, giving them the lead.
Yeah, and he's right now up top car. He may shift over in a minute, though, because we do see Camo coming up any second. So looks like Stellar instead holding down car while Camo is popping off screen.
Yeah, I mean, Eco said it himself. The player to watch here, in his opinion, for Splyce is going to be Stella. You've seen he's already managed to hop on that flag return. Then he goes up the other end, finishes off a flag cap. He's doing it all. Royal 2's picking up a triple kill as well. But Shotzzy, he's playing nice and sneaky in the basement.
And you want to give a player like Shotzzy your Camo, right? He's so deadly when he's fully visible, but when this guy is invisible, the routes he takes, the trigger discipline really lets him excel.
Shotzzy jumps back up. Stays alive. Great help again coming in from Stella, and Shotzzy getting fantastic support from teammates here. 2 dead, and he goes straight for the flagpole. If he can get around this corner, he does have Eco there to pick up the kill on Lethal. He should be able to move this one across the map. Splyce might just end it here unless Snakebite can come up huge.
Snakebite gets the stop, but it might not be enough here as we take a look. Shotzzy had a little bit of camo left too, and might be able to help bring that in. Yes, indeed.
There it is. The final flag goes in, and Splyce take truth. Capture the flag, 3-1. I mean, that was ruthless at times from them.
It was, and I think once again, the one thing I got to highlight is they just look so comfortable no matter what. You saw Snakebites alive in their needle area, stopping that flag, but guess what? How big is it of Shotzzy to drop that flag pink 1? He had a quarter camo left. Keep that camo, stay alive pink 2. Guess what? Even if Snakebite gets that trade with the flag carrier, they're right there to swoop it in. Shotzzy big numbers again. Once 18 and 11 there, 23 and 15 from Stellar as well. What did Eco say? Who's the player to watch? Stellar.
Listen to Eco is what we know right now. Huge performance coming in from B. Big damage across the board as well. On the other side of things, Frosty had a little bit of a quiet game there, but I mean, all the stats across the board. There's no big standout poor statistics from any particular player there. A very, very close game, number 1. Splyce is doing a great job of, I think they did such a fantastic job of getting the objective moving quicker than TOX did when they got those kills.
They did, and we saw TOX. I was pretty surprised that we saw TOX get into a pretty comfortable pink 2 top mid hold, and that it did lead to a flag over time, because it looked like a little bit more of a traditional flag run from Halos of old, where TOX is able to get comfortable up top and then run the flag. It wasn't maybe as spastic and chaotic as some Halo 5 runs can be, on truth.
I think it's an interesting point that you made there, because you compare the one flag cap that TOX put in. They had to slay 3 waves, I believe it was, of Splyce players before they managed to actually convert that flag. You go back and look at the Splyce captures, that's 2 kills, and they're running that flag. They've got it across, and then they just back themselves to get it on the way back.
And as you see here, 3-1 is a score in favor of Splyce for our game number 1. Next is up is going to be Slayer Plaza, but we're going to look for that theme all series on set. As soon as Splyce has the opportunity to capitalize, they're going to do that. Whether they have 2 dead on their own team, 2 dead on the opposing team, if there's a flag that can be pulled, you can bet they're going to pull it out of the base.
Well, big game in game number 1 from Stella. It's only right that we start off with him in our 2nd game of this first best of 7. In our grand finals, Overshield, of course, respawning every single 2 minutes. We've seen some close battles for that power-up. Sorry, it's changed games, it's changed series. Who's going to be able to control that in this game?
Looks like no grabs just yet as we look across. Still available top mid, you can see on your screen, but Splyce just jumps straight on it. Renegade's going to be the one who grabs.
Great early start there for Splyce as far as getting control of that. Frosty manages to trade out a kill, and it's going to be very touchy-feely at the start of this one. 4-2 here for Splyce. Stella and Shotzi doing a great job of picking up those fights in the team kills. And now you're going to see Renegade is comfortable to challenge that, because he knows that that player is on his own. He's not going to get help. When you have that first shot and you see your teammates picking up kills, it makes life so much more easy.
Absolutely. And that Overshield, of course, lets him just soar off at S4, pick up this great kill down here as well, doing lots of damage. Early lead here for Splyce. They may go up 7-3 if this kill goes in, which we can definitely assume, yes, indeed. A nice little early cushion for Splyce off of the opening break. They'll get most of those kills up 8-3. They also have the sniper rifle in hand.
They do. Stella's the player with it. You can see in the feed, he's starting to peel a little bit as well. Eco picks up an easy beatdown after Royal 2 is pressured up to that top gold area. That wasn't an area he wanted to be in right there. You could see he was already damaged. And look, every single player that Eco is looking at the moment is either weak, and Stella's just walking around the map and cleaning up kills right now.
So Stella's on a killing spree, and the other team has 4 kills. This is the player, as you heard Eco, his own teammate said, the player to watch this series, doing so well. Next Overshield up in 45, by the way, but Stellar is 6-0 in this game right now. Once again, has 2 more kills than the entire opposing team.
Frosty picks up 1. Renegade immediately trades that kill out, and it's a testament to this 2v2 style, this body system that Splyce puts to use so effectively. As soon as you see 1 kill, it's even if a player falls, it's so rare that that kill is not traded out.
I mean, this team, the way they move, not only are we so impressed by the speed at which they move, it's the speed at which they move together, constantly flying around the map and rotating. Look at this. We just saw Stellar go all the way from Cafe Flowers here to bottom left, and his team is pushing around him. It's 20-6.
Stella is 8-0 at the moment, and Shotzi, he's doing work as well. He's currently set on 5-2. Every single member of Splyce is having a bit of fun here on Plaza. 20-6 the score, and the Overshield's about to pop as well. Renegade.
Yeah, it should be up top middle. We'll take a look as we see right here. The grad, it's going to actually be a burn. Big shout out to Wonderboy for catching that off screen. 23-7 now the score, but you can't let Splyce run literal circles around you in a Slayer.
Andy, it's 23-7 in our grand finals between the 2 best teams in the world right now. TOX, where are you on this map right now? What is happening? Because Splyce are completely dominating every single asset of this game.
We haven't seen them in this series yet. We haven't seen their full potential. They're in the winner's bracket for a reason, of course, undefeated up until this point. But Stellar, by the way, 9-0 here, 1 away from a 10-kill spree.
We've got to stay on board with him. There is the frenzy. 10-0. Take some shots in the back. 27-8 at the moment. This is like a matchmaking game here for Splyce, but with Stella getting control of that sniper rifle as well, he still hasn't died. Finally, he does go down, but a 10-1 start, it doesn't matter what game mode you're playing, you're always going to take that.
As a reminder, he has 10 kills, and TOX has 11 kills. So far, he's almost beating TOX single-handedly in the kills category, as they'll put up a few points, but TOX needs to remember, right, this is really their opportunity to strike, because this is the first time since Columbus that they've been in the winner's bracket leading.
Now, here's the thing. With any Slayer on Halo 5, if you can get a 4 dead, that you can put kills together, and you can always pull your way back into these maps. Lethal with the sniper rifle, had 3 bullets to work with, and just like that, the game's a lot closer than what it was a moment ago. TOX getting back-to-back kills and starting to put on a run of their own.
And absolutely, and not to discount them, if there's one team that could do it against Splyce to rally back in the game, as you see Royal 2 getting a killing spree of his own, it is TOX. Would love to have them silence us here. Look at this. Now they're only down by 9, and just like you said, Onset, they're rallying back here.
Light rifle in the hands of Royal 2 as well. The OS is going to be popping up in around 10 seconds as well. A big chance for TOX to get back into this one. Just 9 kills the difference between the two teams.
Yep, that OS is right around 44. Keep an eye on that timer in the bottom right. Teams are going to start to collapse around that. Right now, TOX for the moment has the upper hand in terms of grabbing that. But let's see if Snakebite can get the burn. Yes, indeed. It's going to be a burn by Snakebite, which is big. They're still down here by 9 kills. Now make that 10. But still a chance for them to rally back if they can get on a similar streak that we just saw from them just a moment ago.
Yeah, Frosty a little bit quiet at the start of this series as well. Currently sat at 6 and 10. Snakebite picks up another kill, and he's doing a lot of work for his team at the moment. Picks up another double kill. Now you need to see the collapse come in. They need to find these final players from from Splyce. They need to make sure that they take them out of the game before they're allowed to do any damage.
And they're doing it well. Look, Frosty does not hesitate. Doesn't have enough help in yard for that one, but actually the help comes from Cafe, so they're bringing this. Not over yet, folks. A beautiful double there from Royal 2.
Royal 2 coming to life as well. Look at the score. 6 kills between the two teams now. It's Royal 2 who's starting to come back here. Eco falls. His shot is looking crispy.
It was 23-7, and now they only trail by 5. What a run from TOX here.
One thing for Splyce here, it's very easy to become complacent in this game when you have such a massive lead. Before you know it, if a team like TOX, we know how strong mentally they are. They can find their way back into this game. Renegade, though, with a triple kill, I think is just going to slow things down ever so slightly. Gets another kill there. I think that was 4 in succession there from Renegade. Just when you thought the TOX were making a comeback, a big play like that from one of your playmaker players can slow things down.
Yeah, that's a tough swing for TOX. Now they're down by 7. Now make that 8. Next overshell's in 38 seconds, but sniper rifles sooner here in about 20, so those two could be pretty big factors towards the end of this game. Look for those to really swing the action.
Yeah, normally we'd say we expect the game to slow down a little bit here, and, you know, maybe a team's going to play around that overshield, but we're talking about Splyce and TOX here, two of the fastest teams that we've ever had in the Halo Championship Series. They're going to keep putting the pressure on each other. Lethal taken down bottom middle, but there's currently 2 players down for Splyce. Royal 2 comes in and cleans up another one, and now it is just 6 kills between the two teams, and it looks like TOX are the ones set up top middle for the overshield.
Frosty's got the snipe, and they have right now are poised to potentially get this overshield grab as well. Any second that OS will be up right about now, so look for them to really try to grab that. There it is, and looks like it might be a lethal grab. I think he gets away with it clean. So this is anyone's game still here, folks. Sniper still in the hands of Frosty. Lethal with that overshield.
He's coming under though. Lethal's just melted off. All of his overshield is now gone, and Lethal gone from being a player of power with the power up to just trying desperately to stay alive. What a play there from Splyce. Incredible focus fire, great communication. The overshield completely and utterly negated.
Frosty also died off screen, you saw with that sniper rifle, and I think Splyce was really okay giving up both of those because they knew they had that power position to collapse here. Still not over though, a big double from Royal 2 here, so a 6-kill game still within the reach of TOX if they can put together some pretty perfect Halo.
10 kills to go here for TOX. 4 kills to go here for Splyce. A couple of kills traded out. They can't trade kills at this point, Andy. If you're on TOX, you have to put together a run. Snakebite's going to have a 1v1. The player does lift up. This should be an easy kill. Another one here. Just as we thought this game was over, things are starting to tighten up.
Look at that great bait and switch there. Frosty and Snakebite working together. Gets help from Lethal as well. 3-kill game here, 47-44.
Should be another kill here on Eco as well. Eco somehow manages to stay alive. Is anyone in position here from TOX to clean up that kill? How have they let Eco get away?
Right now you see Eco still alive in the hotel, somehow 2-kill game. Next overshield in 40 seconds. We could see this come into play as well. 46-48.
Trades come in. The overshield's going to be popping in around 30 seconds. Will there be enough time left in the game for that to become a big part of how this one ends up?
Yeah, here we go. Now 1 kill for Splyce. Only 1 kill away. They get another one here from Shotzzy.
Royal 2 jumps up to S4. Going to get rid of that barrel as well. Doesn't want to take the damage. And it's going to be Eco who closes his out. I mean, TOX made a fantastic comeback in that game, but it wasn't enough. It was the early onslaught from Splyce. They just left themselves too much to do, and Splyce, I think they've already got eyes on the second best of 7 here, Andy.
And we got to give all the credit in the world to TOX, a team that was down 23-7, and they only lose 50-47. Like you said, onset a little bit too little too late. TOX, a team that we said it early on, even though they're down by such a margin, they can bring the game back. Not only did they bring that game back, they brought it back to 47-45, only within 2. A fantastic performance from them, but once again, it's Stellar standing out on the scoreboard. 14-9 from him.
Yeah, it was his start. He was 10-0. You look at that stat line at the end. It looks like it's still a good stat line, don't get me wrong, you know, going positive and a Slayer against a team like TOX, but to start a game 10-0, just completely demoralizes the team that you're playing against. That, I mean, what was it, 27-9 or something like that? There's no way, however many years you've played Halo, that you think that game hasn't gone. There's no, that negative thought has to creep into your head.
And I think TOX knows it. They need to make sure, we've been talking about it, that's the key against Splyce. Don't let them get those huge margins, because think about what would have been possible if TOX had just...
2 kills.
Exactly. If TOX had just kept neck and neck with Splyce through that game, if they could bring a game from 23-7 to 47-45, think about what they can do if they're in control. They need to pick it up here. Do not let this Strongholds rig game number 3 get out of hand.
And it's so difficult for us to try and, you know, summarize, because we always say as well, you know, you have to play as fast as Splyce, but when it doesn't go right, that's what can happen.
Exactly.
It's such a difficult thing to do, but as you are right, Andy, we're moving into our 3rd game of the series now. Splyce obviously just 2 games away from sending it to a second best of 7 now, but I mean, we're on to the rig. And I mean, the great start here for Splyce once again is Renegade. He gets the early power-up and the power weapon.
Renegade gets a clean camo rail scatter. Renegade now with everything in his hands, all of the goodies off of the break. So if you're a Splyce fan, this is the start you were hoping for. They left off exactly where they did in that last game. Right now, the series score being 2-0. Look at this. I mean, Renegade, how are you going to challenge Renegade when he's got camo rail scatter off of the break? Now they're up 5-0. Going to have some early scoring as well.
Finds the respawn as well, Renegade. Oh my word, lethal. Ooh. That's one way to finish it off. That's one way to get rid of that player.
Yeah, a little bit of a good fortune there coming in the way of TOX, as Renegade still had a little bit of ammo and a little bit of camo in hand, but 13-0.
13-0, but the scariest thing here for TOX is the fact that they just put such an insurmountable effort into trying to get back into that last game. Look how they started here, a triple cap within the first couple of minutes, and now they're playing catch-up again at the start of the game. Eco out-rotating at the moment. You can see him moving towards the nest as the BR base is going to be traded. Blocks that spawn with that grenade as well, so now they have the inside of the map, and Renegade, again, picking up the first kill in a team fight with a perfect. TOX are just being suffocated into their spawns.
They really have, and not only are they being outslayed 16-5, they're being outslayed in all the right positions, right? The reason that opening break was so strong was not just because of the kills that Splyce picked up, but it's how they got them and where they got them. When you can get the right kills that give you control, as well as scatter, rail, and camo, it's really big. Camo now 20 seconds from popping up.
Camo in 20. Battle going down the underpass here. Eco takes 2 players down to no shields, but Lethal shows absolutely no fear and picks up a double of his own. Snakebite now going to be rotating to the BR base. TOX have done a good job here to get control of that nest. Snakebite picking up another kill means that they're going to get some points on the board potentially here, but no, the challenge comes in on the BR base, and I believe that Splyce might have actually got the reset there.
Yes, indeed, and also camo's up. Frosty with rail in hand. I believe that camo is still up, if I'm not mistaken. Taking a look across, finally, we do see a grab there from Renegade, but the burn is forced immediately. It's a 45 pickup, but camo is burnt, so no longer in play.
TOX just can't get rid of Shotzi there, being such a nuisance. Railgun shot missed by Frosty, and it's going to cut him. Look at the player that just comes back round the corner. It's Shotzi. They don't get the kill initially, and he makes them pay. One thing that we heard from Eco before this game, we need to work on the consistency of our communication in this game, in our grand final, in order to take it. Let's jump into a listening now with Splyce and see if they're putting it to use.
Another one here somewhere, I think.
No, you're fine.
Okay. One shot bottom, E1.
We can ask.
Yeah, we can.
Dude, he's...
White.
I'm gonna get a kill BR side. They're going nest,
Shot, good. Got I'll look weak. One shot under press, one shot.
One shot top engine.
Yo, cuts.
And on me, behind me BR, yeah. I lost scatter, he's one cuts. I lost scatter, whoever's in BR.
Sniper.
I got that. I'll probably spawn here with you. Give me one.
One shot coming.
One barrels.
Oh, we gotta live. Now we gotta live.
Kevin, go bros.
Side spawn, to your right, Kevin, to your right.
Yeah, you guys they just started at me. White corner.
I'm down with scatter, bro. Fuck.
Yo,
Neck bunker.
They have scatter top row. One more bullet, I believe.
One shot top row in the corner, real street.
I'm trying to stop this.
Yeah, I died.
Yeah.
Two
I'm not stopping that. He's absolutely. We can kill this kid though.
I got him. Nice. Push up.
I'm getting this. Push my
I'm in
My paw behind me.
Yo, in twos.
Doesn't have any more. No one there. Another one there. Don't die to that guy. He's going snipe hole.
Yo, rail
He's
in 10.
He's capping basement.
Rail in 10.
Top engine.
Yo, John.
One shot.
I might be able to kill this guy. He's dead. Another one white house.
Yeah.
We cat one.
Two dead.
Nice.
One shot. Last two guys in basement.
I'm going BR fast. I'm going BR.
I'm one.
Don't commit.
Yo, camo
Literally
44,
one
John.
Snipe hole weak to Whitehall.
Make sure we get this camo, 44.
Yo, this guy real. Bottom rail.
One shot. Yeah, you come back to.
Times camo.
44.
No, I died. Snipe. Railgun spawn Frosty. Frosty's gonna be coming out of snipe hole right now.
Two cuts.
Weak.
Frosty's
Camo's
sniper.
up now. Two shot cuts going bottom rail. Half shields.
Top flame.
He's really weak. Nice shit,
on
3
me,
dead.
dude. E3.
Last guy under overlook, he dropped sewers.
Not chasing, you're fine. Watch the nades, watch the nades.
Cuts.
I naded it.
That's gonna kill me, guys.
2 on me, BR base. 2
Don't
on me,
die,
BR.
Brandon. Don't die, Brandon. Don't die.
I can go, I got one.
Don't die. Top rail.
You have a nade nest.
He didn't die?
And it has just been the kill feed lighting up in red as Splyce are doing such a fantastic job. And Andy, there's a few things from that communication you certainly noticed.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things you might notice is a lot of Splyce's callouts. First of all, it sounds really calm. It sounds really upbeat, which is really important for this squad. But also, their callouts seem so calm. And a lot of their callouts are specifically one-shot callouts. And this separates Splyce from a lot of teams. When they make their callouts, the players are already weak. They're so selective in their battles that they don't need to do a primary callout to say, for example, there's a player E1. Instead, the callout that comes across is there's a player E1 one-shot because they were confident that either they were going to finish the battle or their teammates can finish. And that really clears up the communication to make sure they're prioritizing the right topics.
1 pixel away there. That basement from being reconverted. Finally, TOX have some control on the map now. Have control of the BR base. They have control of the nest. That means that they're going to be scoring points. And at least there's a little bit of a confident boost there. If they can maybe get a 2 dead, a 3 dead. But once again, in the team fight, Andy, it just seems Splyce are winning every single first battle.
They are right now. They're outslaying 46-36. But if we saw it last game, TOX is a team that can absolutely bring this game back. Rake Strongholds, and really any Strongholds, is a game type that can be brought back as well. So TOX not out yet. They're rallying back here, but a trip cap at 82 is going to make this tough.
Yeah, it really is going to make this tough. And Splyce are looking to make this a 3-0 right now. You can see they're putting pressure on the basement. Eco's flying in. 2 kills go in. That's going to be a reset on the basement. Unfortunately there for Frosty, he's going to be peeled off of the catwalk by Eco. That could very well much be game number 3 going to Splyce.
3 dead at a 96 trip cap, and that really should do it. Splyce will close out this game without a doubt after that last sequence of kills. Yes, indeed. They go up 3-0 in this series, now only 1 game away from resetting the bracket and sending us to a second best of 7.
Before the event, spoke to Eco. If you can't beat us on the Friday, you sure as hell aren't going to beat us on the Sunday. I mean, you can see how much better they are playing in this series than to even how they were playing yesterday, how they've been playing earlier today. They've saved it for the GrandFinals, and they are performing to such an incredibly high level.
I mean, how often do we talk about it backstage? You have to be careful when you beat Splyce. If you beat them on a Friday or a Saturday, like we saw them fall earlier here, they're going to come back ticked. You saw also Tashi tweeting about, right, Eco saying, I do not want to lose this tournament. They want to win here. Big numbers, though, to take a look at the guys. Shotzi specifically 16-11. Stellar there, 17-9. And Stellar is 3 for 3 in leading his team and the game in kills. Just as Eco predicted, standout player of our grand finals so far.
Obviously, that man who's on your screen right now, Eco, obviously got told something, got a whisper in the ear right next to him. He's like, I got this series, don't worry about it, dude, I got this one. And that man has been phenomenal all tournament long. He's so quiet, he's such a keeps himself to himself kind of guy. But, you know, we heard from him in the Splyce interview, he has such a great mind for the game. He almost comes at it with a different approach to a lot of players. He was saying, you know, professional sportsmen, they don't play every single day with their team. They do things to get better individually, and that's what he tries to do. That's what a lot of Splyce members try to do. And you can see it coming into effect now. In a position where they were knocked down to the lower bracket, they've stayed calm, they've stayed composed, they've put right the wrongs, and they're just coming in here, and this is 3-0 already against TOX.
And the precision is surgical, right? Every single game, no matter what the circumstance, we've seen them bounce back twice now. Of course, it was a little bit more extreme in the Slayer. They had a big lead. They got cut down quite a bit. In Strongholds, they're able to bounce back, and just when we thought that TOX was going to get back into it, you see a trip cap at the 82 mark, and that's what Splyce is going to do. Not only that, but they immediately flood basement, right? They're constantly flying at their opponents, and we heard Snakebite many events ago, and also in New Orleans say, if you want to beat Splyce, you need to play their own game. You need to beat them at their own game. TOX is not doing that right now.
Well, let's have a quick look at the maps for this series so we can keep everyone up to date at home as well as here in the Gfinity Arena. Next game type is going to be Oddball on Eden. You can see the series score so far. Splyce taking game number 1, 3-1. Truth capture the flag. Splyce taking game number 2 after coming out hot. There was 27-9 at the start of that game. TOX brought it back, but it wasn't enough. And then we've just seen a dominant performance on the rig there in Strongholds 100-38. Now, of course, this was the game type and this was the map where Splyce won against TOX in New Orleans in that second best of 7. Bad memories here for TOX, but this could be another fantastic chapter and another story here for Splyce. They can take this game.
Right now, I want to see TOX play like they've got nothing to lose, because here we are. They need to reverse sweep here in these first series of the Grand Finals. Guess what? If they lose this game, they're going to a second best of 7. Give it your all in this game. Try to win the series here. Do everything you can to avoid going to that second best of 7. And these 4 game types certainly are games that TOX could take, right? I mean, you could look at this entire best of 7. I think the score, with the exception of Truth CTF, TOX could have won any of these games. They absolutely could have done it in these next 4. We'll see if TOX can hold on or if Splyce is going to force a second best of 7. But as we know, if Splyce is on fire, it's so hard to stop.
Yeah, one thing that's just blowing my mind is every single time there seems to be a 4v4 situation on the map between Splyce and TOX, it's Splyce that are winning that battle. Yeah. And it seems to be a perfect or a power weapon being put to use. And, you know, we have to give a shout out to Splyce's coach. He seems to be on top of everything, skeptical.
Yeah. You heard it during listening. You heard during listening, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can hear it.
What's great is it's a constant dialogue. You know, when a coach is constantly coming in with that power-up time, even though he had said about 4 times that Camo was at 44, you still have players on the team who are, when is Camo, right? And it takes a skilled coach to make sure that the team, even though things are being said, that doesn't mean everything's being filtered and appropriately understood. So you saw really good power-up control from them. They had 3, I believe, power-ups in that game to TOX's 0, so great control. I mean,
we need to talk about some interesting comparisons here between what happened back in New Orleans in the first best of 7 between TOX and Splyce and what's happening right now.
It's
I mean,
night and day.
Exactly. If we would have looked back on the first best of 7 in New Orleans, you know, TOX swept Splyce aside, and we're just thinking, this is over. Going to a second best of 7, this is done. TOX are outperforming Splyce. Yeah. It's over.
And also, you even
I'm almost seeing it the other way around at the moment. It's like it's the same thing could happen here, but the other way around.
It absolutely could. And Splyce, even it looks like a different Splyce as well, right? Because Splyce loses earlier in the tournament. They get knocked to elimination bracket. I think a lot of us are thinking this is a very different tournament. Splyce looks different. Reciprocity looks so strong. TOX is looking even stronger than they did in New Orleans. And now we'll have to see exactly how this plays out as we take a look at a few replays from that game. But right off the break, it was Renegade and Splyce that were dominating.
Yeah, and you can see it's just Renegade with this railgun, and Frosty was doing what he could to try and make something happen for his team, try and make those plays, which he's renowned for, opening up the map in so many different ways. But you just, every time we're looking at the score at the end of the day, Andy, it just seems like Splyce have that cushion, they have that lead. And I think TOX they've just got to win this opening battle. Yep. We talk about how important opening strategy is in Halo 5 and how it can be quite snowbally if you don't get control of those early weapons and positioning on the map. And I think TOX have to win this opening battle in this map.
They do. And you know what? That reminds me, we haven't even seen really what TOX plays like with the lead in this series yet, because they've been trailing almost the entirety of those last 3 games. Game number 4, though, Oddball on Eden. Splyce could take it here, or TOX could force it. Game number 5.
Here we go then. Game underway again, and the man who's 3 for 3 at the moment as far as statistics being at the top of the statistic board are concerned. We're starting off with Stella as he moves towards the overshield.
Look at that. Interesting opening there, just flying across with that Hydra to splash damage on the stairs, and it's going to lead to an early grab there as you see Frosty grabs a sniper rifle on the other side.
Eco with the oddball in hand and already just racking up time for his team. 12-0 the score. Stella picking up kills. You can see they're positioned beautifully around the tower, and all Eco's doing here is just peeking and basically calling out any pushes that are coming in from TOX.
Yes, indeed. Now look at Shotzi here. Ends up with the sniper rifle after Frosty his initial grab. And misses uncharacteristically misses a shot, but silences me there as his team come in to help. And look at this, already up 33-0 in the first minute.
And if you have a player like this with a sniper rifle on a map like this where you can just rotate, keep the oddball away from your opponents, almost bait players to look at that oddball. If you've got to play with a sniper rifle, he's going to have a field day. And look at the aggression from Shotzi here, challenging both players, doing as much damage as he can before he's eventually taken down.
Yeah, Eco may need to rotate here. See, 2 kills do come in for the opponents there. So he's going to rotate, maybe just kind of essentially play this ball bottom middle. That's exactly what they do, but a really healthy lead. We're only a minute and not even a half in, and they're up 53-3.
Remember, we play to 150 points here on Oddball in Halo 5. Shotzi now moving through the red base, looking to pick up the first kill in this team fight that we talk about being so important at the top level. Catches another player. That's 2 shields that have been dropped, but no one from Splyce in position to finish off these kills at the moment.
Not at all here. And Shotzi, like you said, such a tricky player to play against. Not only was he dominating with the snipe early on, but then comes in with the aggression. Now he's behind his opponent. Such a versatile player. We talk about how dangerous he is to play against. Finally, they find a way to take him down, but this has been the theme of the series. This is really the theme of playing against Splyce. TOX needs to make sure they don't lose, get down to, say, an 80-point deficit real quick. It'll be really difficult. OS soon, though, coming up in this minute.
We're going to be rotated outside here. Shotzi and Stella working together, just Basically following the leader at the moment is Shotzi, who's playing bodyguard. He's just moving everywhere that Shotzi goes. And if there's one player you want to protect, why not Shotzi?
Let's stay here, because right now they just rotated to Turbine, mainly because that overshield is popping up. As you see, Shotzi's able to grab it here. He's now going to be able to challenge Blue Stairs, and he's going to rotate with the ball. If we can go back to that observer view just to see exactly how they're rotating, because now they're going to swing to red. You'll see exactly where those opponents are as well. They're going to now have to flood to red. They're going to continually just loop the ball around the map. They're already up 90-20.
And what a fantastic example of how to play Oddball there from Splyce. They dropped 3 shields. They didn't push the kills because they know that TOX can't push back. Shotzi just picked the ball up, walked away. Those few seconds that he has to get away from gunfire and move across the map means his teammates can get into position to stop that push coming in from TOX.
Platinum rec back on your screen there. Go ahead and redeem that at halo.gg. The guys in the back are getting anxious, predicting the 4-0. We won't be so bold as to predict the 4-0 ourselves, but victory certainly is close for Splyce as they look strong, 101-26 in this game. A little while till that next overshield, so sniper rifle now in play, and who else but Shotzi has it in hand. He's been putting on a show this game. His stats so far here, he's 5 kills, 3 deaths, and 4 assists.
And he's dropping 2 shields to add to those numbers as well. He's moving towards the turbine as well. Not sure if he actually hit that player as well. I think he did.
I think so, yeah.
He's going to back him down. That green gun did hit him to take him out of play for just a second, but here comes the bait and switch from Splyce. Shotzi can't quite finish that one off. Now he's hard scoping around the corner, finds Lethal's face. 2 players fall. The player he was trying to hunt initially has managed to get away, but that most important thing, Andy, the Oddball has fallen.
Yeah, Renegade, by the way, also very strong so far, 9-4 in the match so far, and what a big lead here. Only 4 minutes into this game, not even, and 100 points on the board for Splyce. Shotzi playing so aggressive right now. Pretty close, though. Teams tied at 22 in the kills category.
And it's going to take a big play like we just saw from Frosty to get TOX back into this series. We also have to remember that, TOX haven't played in a while here, Andy. Splyce has made this lower bracket run. They've had match after match. It might just be a case of a big play igniting the energy back into TOX before they get back into this series.
Renegade knows that overshield is soon. You saw that he had his eyes down there bottom middle, and he may actually be in position to grab. We'll see if he pops up here. Looks like he and Eco will jump up, but it's going to be a clean grab for Lethal, who gets away with that overshield. Could this be the sign of life? The TOX needs to get back in this game. They're only down by 50.
Yeah, now Lethal moving towards Snakebite. You can see that player with the Oddball. Snakebite wins an important 1v1 though, and that means that Lethal can now turn his attention elsewhere. Snakebite with another kill. Last player alive is going to be in blue, and Lethal's just trying to do damage. He's not in the greatest of positions to finish off the kill, but at least he knows where he is. And Renegade somehow hits a perfect and somehow gets a play ball in that situation.
You can tell that Lethal is just desperately trying to get around the map as fast as he can to help his teammates, make sure he's playing the aggressive. Do not let Splyce dictate the pace of play. Instead, Lethal's trying to get there, do everything he can. And right now, they've really shortened this lead. Only down by, right here, about a little over 40 points to stay in this game.
Look at the movement there from Shots. He's so difficult to kill, even when, when the initial battle was taken. He dropped the shields quickly, but manages to elongate his life and just make things even harder as Eco scoops up the Oddball once again. You can see Renegade and Stella with their service tags are going to be cleaning up kills across the map. And once again, Eco and Splyce moving that Oddball away from the spawns of TOX. And now he's going to have Shotzi again in front of him as that bodyguard.
Yeah, that scrappy ball time from TOX, not enough here, because now you have a really, really consistent and strong hold from Splyce here. Only about 20 points away from closing out the game. Renegade still 13-6 with 10 assists.
World 2 gets cleaned up. Fantastic stuff here from Eco. Great prioritization. Dropped that Oddball just for a second to clean up the kill. Now he's doing damage on Lethal again. And again, doesn't have to overcommit to the kill, Andy. Something that Splyce is doing so well is dropping shields and then just moving the Oddball away.
Eco's probably going to go for a play ball over the railing here. Yes, indeed. That ball's going to be back to bottom middle. Look at this. Now they're only 8 points away. Textbook gameplay here from Eco and squad. They're about to close this one out. And gosh, it's going to be difficult for TOX to get back in this overshield popping real soon.
Yeah, they've got to play perfect Halo here, TOX, but they do have the weapons to do it. You see Frosty with the sniper rifle does manage to take down Eco as he dared to challenge him in the middle of blue. Another player looking to challenge him as well and missing that shot. Stella going to take him down, and we talk about needing big plays. Maybe that was the big play that TOX needed there. Frosty maybe had to hit that no-scope.
And they would need perfect Halo regardless, even if that shot was hit. It's a good ball kill and a double there from Lethal, but Splyce is just going to keep jumping on this ball. Only 3 seconds till they win.
Yeah, only 3 seconds to go, and you can see the beatdown comes in. Shotzi trades it out. Here comes Shotzi to pick it up and finish the game. Splyce roar back here from the losers bracket. They take our first best of 7 here, 4-0. They look like they mean business, Andy.
They sure do. And guess what? Outslayed in that last game. Outslayed.